Hey, everybody. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. Let me know if you're here. I would love it if you can tell me if you see me, hear me. If you give me a thumbs up. Seeing if I can pull this up on my phone and we'll get started. Just make sure I've got it. Happy Wednesday. I'm not used to going live on Wednesdays. So, I'm totally confused this week. All right, where are we coming? Okay, I see somebody. Hey, Lisa. Thank you for telling me you can see. Awesome. It feels like there's always a delay on my end. Okay, I see it. Awesome. Thank y'all for letting me know you're here. Hello, Brenda, Jan, Lisa. I'm tickled to see y'all. So, good. Thank you for letting me know you can hear too. Good morning. Good morning. It's good to see you, Deborah. Our Deborah and Deborah's. I love it. Y'all are back to back. Love it. So, are y'all ready let's start the Wisemen and the Camels? So, for those who might be watching that have not been along with us on this journey, let me give y'all just a quick little recap of what we're doing and just invite you to, if you've missed the other ones, I just want to invite you to go back and grab the other tutorials also. If you don't know this, we have kits. We have a kit for each set. So we have been creating a series of ornaments called the Nativity Love Story. And it's a really special story behind how this came to be. And I just think that there's just a lot of possibilities for using these projects to just, I think, to just help your heart also. And even begin now preparing for Christmas. Hey, Debbie. I love seeing y'all and Tony. So the first one that I created was Mary and the Star. So there's 2 ornaments in each set. So Mary and the Star are the very first ones. And these are all inspired by a book, a fictional book by Marjorie Holmes. And it's called Two from Galilee, a love story of Mary and Joseph. The book, some of you may be familiar with it. It was written in the 1970s. Here you go. Love story of Mary and Joseph. So I was purchasing this from an estate sale and was just intrigued by the title and looking closer at it. And I just felt like the Lord just speaking to me that Christmas is the ultimate love story. And I think Christmas and Easter, but it's his ultimate gift to us of giving his son Jesus. So that just started the creative wheels going in my mind and in my heart of what would it have been like to be there? What would it have been like? You know, we have typical nativity pieces that we decorate with for Christmas. So my mind started thinking about that. And even the donkey and the sheep, did they know? You know, I feel like they would have. He was their creator. And so from there, it just started falling in place. And I really believe that the Lord had just put things in my heart and it just fell in place on paper. So my goal was to illustrate these designs in a way that maybe would show how they might have felt the love they had for the baby. So you'll notice in each of the ornaments, almost all of them are with the baby. So let me show you what I've got. Hey, Marla, I see so many other names coming in. I'm so glad y'all are here. So Mary and the Star are first. So you see Mary holding the baby. Then Joseph came next, and I designed him. If I can find him, I've got ornaments. Here they are. Here he is. So I designed, when I drew him, I wanted them facing each other. But if you notice, they're both holding the baby. I wanted to somehow illustrate him holding the baby because he's part of the story as well. Joseph has a big part in the story, and has a very special role in this story. The love and the support that he gave to Mary, I cannot even imagine. So that's Joseph. His ornament pair, part of the pair in his collection, is the donkey. And for those who don't know, donkeys are very special. I met a farmer, a shepherd, and they had a donkey and told me how Poncho was his name. He's passed away since I met them, but he, by instinct, knew he guarded the sheep, protected them, but he also knew when it was time for one to deliver, and he would shepherd her back to the barn to give birth, and he would stay there with her and protect her from the other sheep that might be wanting to be nosy and watch. It was just such a touching story. So I knew for sure I wanted a donkey on one of these ornaments. So there he is with baby Jesus. And then on the back, I've got scripture verses that are on the back. So then that led me to the shepherds and the sheep. So I love sheep. I don't know if y'all know that about me or not, but I love them. I would love to have some, but for right now, I'm just going to love them from afar. I love this story too, Sandy. It's hard to, after they explained Poncho, and I was so overwhelmed thinking about a donkey carrying Mary. And yeah, so I just think all animals are special. So here is the shepherds. There's 3 of them. And then for them, we have the sheep. And this is what we created. I think it was Monday. Didn't we do the shepherd and the sheep? Yeah, we did it Monday and Tuesday because we didn't get to finish in one day. So yesterday we finished. You didn't know that. I'm glad I went ahead and told it because I was kind of hesitant and was afraid that I'm boring people who have already heard the story. But I also want to make sure that everybody knows how special each of these characters and parts are, because they could represent us also, whether we are part of the ones who welcomed him, who recognized how special he is, and welcomed him, or if we're like the innkeeper who had no room for him. It's just something to think about. Okay, so here's the shepherd and the sheep, and then they've got a backside, each of those. So today we're going to focus on the wise men and the camel. So let me get Mr. Donkey back. So for the wise men and the camel, they're a little bit more intricate. And so this is the wise men. And for these, I painted them directly onto the book pages where our kits are using book pages from the Two from Galilee book. So if you order a kit, you're getting a book page from there, and you can make copies of it if you want to, or you can paint directly on the paper. It's your choice. Yes, you can still get all of the kits, Marilou. You can still get them. We still have them. This is the camel. So whenever I was drawing them, they're a little bit more complicated to draw, and I was looking at reference pictures, and they have just some of the funniest expressions, y'all. And so whenever I drew this guy here in the back, and I looked at his expression, I felt like he was saying, y'all, look, he's here. He's here. The king is here. So if you notice with the shepherd and the sheep, what I put on the back, for the shepherds seek the shepherd. And I put it all caps, the shepherd. Where is my other sheep? So the sheep says, I'm losing my sheep, the updated back. If I don't see it, we'll keep moving. Here it is. Here it is. Hold on, everybody. Here he is. Here it is. I updated the backs. So, welcome, Lamb of God. He is my shepherd. And so when I was drawing this one, I was thinking about him peeping in on the baby and the sheep peeping in on the Lamb of God and saying, you are my shepherd. I will follow you. You are my shepherd. So, a lot of symbolism in there, as much or as little as you want to have to it, actually. Yes, it is, Deborah. So did y'all see what she said? Let me pull him back up, because camels have the most interesting faces. If you've never really looked at them, do some image searches on Google and see some of their expressions. But that is what it looks like he's saying. It's like, he's here, the king is here. And the other camel is saying, yes, I know. So this is what we're going to do today. And I've got a backup plan. I always have a backup plan, and usually have a backup plan for my backup plan. So it took us longer to do the shepherds, and I really don't want to rush you through them, but at the same time, I don't want to take too long also. So I'm trying to keep it at an hour or a little bit over an hour. So my goal is to see how far we can get today with the Wisemen. And if we don't finish, I always go live on Fridays at noon. So if we don't finish, then on Friday at noon, y'all will finish it up, okay? So we're just going to enjoy being together, and that's what we'll do. So let me say a few things, because once I get started painting, I'll tune everything else out and trying to stay focused. So I put a link in the comments. It's up at the top, and it's a link to my website, and we've got a whole collection for the Nativity Love Story. And inside of that, you will find a kit for each of these sets. So for instance, someone asked about Joseph and the donkey. His kit includes, where's Joseph? It's throwing me off because I have more than one of each one, so it makes it hard to. Okay, so his kit includes the supplies for both ornaments. So you'll get the wood piece, you'll get the paint dots, you'll get the traceables, all that stuff. So that I'm trying to answer questions that I've heard previously. So each kit is a set of 2 ornaments. And inside there, you're going to find almost everything that you need. What's not in there is your adhesive. You're going to need some sort of adhesive, whether it's Mod Podge, glue stick. We'll talk more about that as I get started, but the bulk of what you need is in there. The other options that you're going to see is we just added the wood tags. Had some people requesting that. These tags are 3x5, and I think that's 1/8 of an inch thick. I don't remember if it's 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch. So we made a set of 8 tags, and you can find that also in that collection on the website. We did not have that just until yesterday, actually. Yeah, several people were asking for it, Marla. So they're in there now. So you can order. And I went with the number 8 because there's 8 in this whole series. So that's what we went with. The other thing that you'll find in there is if you already have a lot of supplies, you don't really need my supplies. We've got an option called the Design Traceables. And that's for the people who have all their things. You just want the design to trace it. You don't want to draw it. You just want the design to trace it. So that's in there, and it's also included in the kit. But like this is what I'm calling a design traceable. It's the outline. So the kit includes this, and it's already printed out for you in the kit. But if this is all you want, this is an option now also. The other thing that's an option that I wanted to verbally explain so that we don't want to have confusion is this is new. I made some art printables because we had some ladies that wanted to make these but really didn't want to learn to paint them. They just wanted to craft it. So I painted onto book paper all of the designs and made some additional sheets that you could use like scrapbook paper. And I don't see the ones I'm looking for, but you'll see those now in the website. I'll show you the Kings. Let me show you that because that's the one I can see. So you can print these out. So like this is an example. You can print it out onto bright white paper, and then you can just use these to craft with, y'all. I know several are purchasing these to use for gifts. They're going to craft multiple ones to use for gifts. So this is whenever you see the word art printable, that's the artwork that I've painted and have it sized and ready for you to print it out on. And you're going to need some bright white paper. The colors are truer on bright white paper. So get the brightest white paper. 32 pound is a good weight. If your printer will process a heavier pound, you could do heavier. But I wanted y'all to understand that at the beginning in case I get busy and forget to explain that later. So art printable is the artwork that you print out. The design traceable is the drawing that you print out and you trace it. Okay? So that's the difference. That's a good question. Do you sell the bling things? If not, where do you get yours from? Okay, that's a good question, Brenda. We don't sell the bling separate from the kits, and I actually make it. I try to color coordinate everything because I really want it. I want you to enjoy doing these. I really want you to enjoy it. And I know that for many people, the color coordinating part feels stressful to them. So when we started this series, it took me a while, but I got all of it laid out. And it doesn't matter which ones you're putting next to each other, they're going to coordinate because all of the colors coordinate. And you'll see today doing the Wisemen, I'm going to be using some of the tools to try from some of the other kits. And I can do that because I know that it color coordinates. I don't have to think about it. I thought about it once. I got it all together. And so we're at the point now in the process that any of the tools that we've got in any of the kits will work together. So, and the bling that, let's see, the Studio Stash, all of this, I've like the beads, I collect buttons. I just collect stuff like this. And then I'll make up I'll need to show y'all sometimes. I love mixing it up, but it's a big clear bowl of this stuff. And then they scoop it up and put it in the bags. So does that answer your question, Brenda? And then the ribbons, all of that is going to color coordinate. So if you want something that's easy and ready for you, order the kit. That's going to be the easiest way. Yeah. And I love doing it. So when things are stressful for me, I like to go down there and mix up more bling. I just like doing it. So I'm glad that y'all find it helpful. All right. So I think I explained all that to you. Now, for the replays, I should have made a list, but I'm hoping I'm staying on track. So if you ordered a kit, or if you are one of our Creative Hearts members, then you will have access to our workshop hub. It's hosted on a learning platform that I use. And whenever I do workshops, we host it over there. And then our members and the people who took part in it can access it. So purchasing a kit will give you access to replays of the tutorials, or you can scroll through my Facebook page and find the tutorial and watch it again. So that's where you'll find that. So I think I told you everything about the kits and the process. I will do a giveaway at the end, and I've got my little note, but if it looks like it's getting close to the end and I've not done it, please remind me, because I almost forgot yesterday. And so I've got extra copies of the Two from Galilee book. There's 3 options that you'll have. I'll choose 2 winners and you can choose. I've got the print sets. This is a set of 8x10 prints from our calendar artwork this year. You could choose that, or you could choose the lettering starter kit. So thank you, Marla. Yep, I'm glad you're here. Okay, so are y'all ready? Are y'all ready to do this? I think I've told you everything. If you're not on the email list, I really want to encourage you to get on there, because that's where you'll get the updates. And you can do that. If you're not on there, then, or if you're not sure, type the words, 2 words, Happy Mail in the comments, and I'll be able to send you a link to sign up for our newsletter list. And that's how you can stay in the loop. I've got some important dates coming up. I put those in the description that I want to make sure that y'all know about. Like next Monday, we've got something special going on, and this Friday we'll do whatever we don't get finished today. So I'm cleaning off my spot. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Thank you for sprinkling. Y'all, I forget to ask y'all to do that. Do you know what sprinkling means? It took me a long time to know that. It's sharing it with your friends. So thank you, Wendy. I appreciate it. All right, so can y'all... Okay, what did I do different? Something looks different. Now, can y'all see? I want you to be able to see. Get my light turned on, see if that'll help. All right, everybody see this okay? All right, so I want to show you something fun about this, because I think you're going to like it. So if you notice on the Shepherds, you can still see my book paper back there. And for these, if you watched yesterday, you saw me paint these directly onto the book paper, and then I applied it to the wooden tag. And that's one of the easiest ways to do it, especially if you're nervous about messing up. Paint it onto your book page and then apply it to your wooden tag. The thing of caution that I'm going to make sure to say over and over is, whenever you do that, you're going to want to make sure that you keep the adhesive off of the painting part, because it's watercolor, and we'll talk more about that. Okay, so now look at these wise men. You can read the book pages. You can see there's lettering behind there. But look at the camels. You don't necessarily see that behind the camels, do you? But it doesn't look bad that you don't see the lettering. So I want to show you what I did, because I was working on this, and y'all, I was having trouble tracing this because it is so detailed. And I try to do do it myself. I try to do what I'm asking y'all to do. So when I realized, oh my goodness, this is hard, I realized it's going to be hard for y'all. So I looked for another way to do this. So look at these guys. This is on the traceable paper. So this is actually copy paper. And so what I did is I took my traceable and I did the artwork right there on the traceable. So yesterday we did the artwork on the book page and then we moved it over to the wood tag. Today I want to show you how you can do it on the traceable page and then apply it to your background. You can also take the vellum. So in the kit, we've included the vellum for this because I just felt like we were going to need it. You can actually color the vellum and apply the vellum. So I'm going to do it both ways so that you can see the difference and then you can choose, okay? So the one thing that I did not get done in advance is I did not get my wood tag prepped. So I want to do that together real quickly. I just had the tag. Where did I put it? Hang on. Here it is. Here it is. I moved it out of my way. So inside the kit, I forgot to tell y'all this yesterday. We also intentionally chose the tissue paper so that it would coordinate. You can use your tissue paper even in your piece. You can use it as collage pieces. We chose this gold tissue paper for the kings, for the wise men, so that you could pull parts of it together and use it as a collage. So I wanted to make sure to say that because I totally forgot it the other day. Okay, that'll work, Sherry. So I'm going to show you both ways, but I do need to put a little bit of a background down for these guys so that we can put it together. So let me get so inside the kit, you will find, this is what we call the vintage finds because I love old books. I love old books. So most of these, if you've been following me very long, you'll notice that most of my projects are inspired by some of the old books that I'm finding. So this is the page from the Two from Galilee. And what I'm trying to encourage everybody to do is this is like a treasure hunt. So read through your book page to see, is there any part of this that you want to protect, to highlight, to make sure it's on there. And if you do, this is what I've started doing for myself, is I underline it because I'll get busy creating over here. And I've done it many times that I'll forget and then I've covered it up. The other idea that you can do is if you see a sentence or a word that you want to protect, then you could cut it out. Like you could make a color copy of this and you could cut it out and apply it, somewhere on there. So I'm not going to use this time just because I'm trying to move quickly so that we have plenty of time to paint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this book page. This is it's a sermon, what do you call it? It's a book of sermons. So I'm just going to use it. And I'm going to use my Prit glue stick. You could use other things. This is easier for me. I know some of y'all use Mod Podge a lot, and that's fine too. Just use whatever you want to use for your piece. I'm going to just put a little bit on here. And I'm going to line it up. I want to make sure that I get it lined up here, the edges, and I'll show you in just a second how to deal with that corner piece. All right, and I like to use a room key to smooth out, just to make sure that my glue is not bunched up. And I'm trying really hard, y'all, to not get adhesive on the front, because we're going to paint directly on this, okay? Good, Deborah. That's, yes. Yeah. Y'all got the idea. Y'all good. Okay, so the other thing I want to do is I want to make sure that my corner is nice and crisp. So I'm just going to do it kind of like this. And then I'll come over on this side. Now, I didn't do it like this yesterday. I'm intentionally trying to do it a little bit different each time, because I know that, all right, so this will work if I do it like this. Okay, so here's what I'm going to, where's my scissors? I love old book pages too, Deborah. Yep. Absolutely. Don't feel bad about just getting the traceables. It's okay. I know that I really am not trying to get y'all to buy a lot of stuff, but there's a wide range of people. Some people don't have anything and they need this, you know, they need the help. And then there's other people who have a lot of stuff. If y'all were on the Zoom last night, I think there's some of our members here. We had our monthly Zoom last night, and we have a monthly word, a focus word, and a scripture. And so if you take part in the lettering part of it, I create traceables. And so we're always trying to look for ways to use those traceables just to help us not just learn to letter, but learn those scripture verses. So last night, I was trying to use, it was kind of like a test. I was trying to use whatever I had handy to make something with my traceable. And it was fun. I think it was fun. And the main thing that I think for all of us is just take a step. You know, we're all at a different place in our life, in our journey. We're all at different places. So somebody might not have as much time to create and they need a quick project. Others have a lot of time to create. The main thing is that you do something. Use that gift. It's like a muscle. And the more you use it, I promise you, it gets stronger. All right, so I've got this on here really good and tight. So this is different than I've done any of the others. So watch what I'm doing. That hole is right in there, and I'm pressing on it, and it made an indentation. Y'all see that? So what I'm going to do with my X-Acto knife is I'm very carefully going to cut like a cross shape in here. Okay, just like that. Then I'm going to carefully take the end of that and I'm just going to roll it around, and look how it smooths it down on this side. I'll come back in there. I'm going to push those back in. I just like doing it this way because it just makes a nice smooth edge and a good surface, and then we can run our ribbon through there when we're finished. Okay, so this one is ready. Let me do one more, and then we're going to start painting. Okay, so this one, this is a dictionary page. It's an old dictionary that I bought, and a man had it in his workshop. I always look to see if there's any words on there that I want to highlight. I don't see any. So I'm going to do it like this. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just fold it over This one I have to be a lot more gentle with because this book is so old. It basically, it doesn't take much for it to tear. Guess what I'm trying to say. All right, so we're just doing this real quick. I save all my scraps. Save all my scraps. Oh, you got to go? Okay, thank you, Marla. Yeah, somebody else will remind me. Oh, Deborah, you should make copies of that. I bet that book, I just love creating with the old books, the color of the pages, just everything about it is, they're just special. And for so many of those books, they're just going to get thrown away. And I just feel like we're rescuers. We rescue those books and we're giving them new life. I love it. I used to do craft shows. I know a lot of y'all maybe met me through art shows. And I had painted a series of canvases that had hymn book pages on there. And I took it to Christmas Village, which is the biggest show that we did. Like thousands of people come through there. Y'all would be shocked at how many people would look at that artwork. I had it right there on the front, and they would say, "Is that a song? I didn't know that was a song." I said, "Yeah, that's from a hymn book." And they would be like, "Wow, that's really pretty." So from there on, after that happened, I've just been determined to incorporate things like that into my artwork because it's a way that maybe some new eyes will see those things, see those powerful words. Let's do it at 1. If you'll remind me at 1 o'clock, we'll do it then. How's that sound, y'all? And so I accidentally glued that piece, so I can't cut it, but that's fine. Main thing is for us to do our painting. All right. So how many of you have enjoyed painting with watercolor? Is this the first time you've painted with watercolor? I would be curious to know. All right, so I don't think I've reminded y'all of this lately, but you want to try and be really careful to not get adhesive onto the area where you're going to be painting because we're using watercolor paint and it needs to be able to soak into the page, soak the paper. Good, good. Marla said she's been looking for them. Good. So y'all, yeah. There's so many ways that we can use what we already have. There's so many ways that we can use things that other people have discarded because they couldn't find a way. And I promise you that the more you use your creativity, just like last night in our Zoom thing, I got sidetracked. I was trying to use what I had handy, and it felt really awkward because I didn't have a good plan of what I was doing. But by the end of it, I loved what we ended up doing, and I'll show y'all that. My first time. Good. I hope that you enjoy it because there's so many ways that you can use watercolor. Even you could make an impressionist painting. You could paint a portrait. I love doing it in an illustration style. I painted that way for years and years and years. I just love it, how we can use it to help us illustrate. Okay, so I've got both of these ready now, and I'm going to put them to the side. So let's talk about this. I think what I want to do is go ahead and do on the paper for this. Let me get my sample. So in the kit for these guys, you should have yellow and purple. And these are watercolor pencils. They're water soluble pencils. So what's the difference between this and just watercolor pencils? The main thing that I see is that the pigment is richer in these. Maybe that's the best way to say it. Either one will work. So I'm going to pull a few from here just for time's sake because I want you to see. All right, and I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use that pink that we had with Joseph, and I'm going to use a green, and then I'm also going to use the paint dots. So for those that are new to this, these things are almost magical. So this is what it looks like after you add a little bit of water to it. I love all this. Everybody's, yeah. Okay, it's 12. I'm Central Time. I see that. I'm Central, so it's 12:42 my time. What? Okay, so this is the Wisemen, and this has got the gold. That's why I wanted to go ahead and get this out. And you just need a brush. I'm using this water brush. You could use, ooh, let me move my X-Acto knife before I cut myself. Here it is. You could use a small little, you don't need anything really big for this. You just need it. It's basically there to help you activate the pigment. So let's get started. Okay, trying to get this so that you can see it. And okay, y'all see that okay? All right, so here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and wet my colors. I've got I've got this brown. It's called German Raw Umber. And I've got this, I don't know how you pronounce this. It's Monte Amiata. This is Pyrrole Crimson. This is Rose Madder. This is Indigo, which we'll use in the background. This is Cascade Green and Cobalt Teal. So when you're doing watercolor, you need to back up and consider what is the surface that you're painting on, because it makes a difference in how you do this. So this surface that I'm using is just copy paper. So it's not designed for watercolor, although we can use it. All right, so I'm going to show you how to do it on this one. Make sure you can see. All right, so I learned this the hard way. The camel in the back, it's going to work better for him to be darker, and the camel in the front, it's going to work better for him to be lighter. Okay? This is a lot like coloring. Yeah, if you'll change your mind, if you're nervous about it, if you'll change your mindset and think of this as coloring, I think you'll enjoy it more. I'm trying to get my brown because I'm using the brown from Joseph's kit. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do our guy that's in the back. So I'm going to use this German Raw Umber. And so I'm wetting my brush. I'm blotting it just a tad on my paper towel. And I'm going to do just a very, very light wash. Can y'all can see that, can't you? I'm going to take that pink that we had with Joe, and I'm going to do his little cheeks, fat little cheeks. What is that? That's probably glue. I have to move that because it's making my... Okay, so I'm just coloring in his little cheeks. And I'm just putting a very light wash down. If you'll work in really super duper light washes, you'll enjoy it better, because with watercolor, you're basically, you don't typically have a white. So if you want something light, you have to preserve it. You're going light up. Yes, I like the did y'all see what Debbie said, y'all? If you have a Five Below, they do have watercolor paper. I love their paper. And if you wanted to trace this onto watercolor paper, you could absolutely do that. I would use a light box, or hold it up to the window to trace. Do it that way. All right, so what I just did, I added another layer right there under his little chin, just to add some depth. But I have to do it in really, really light layers, or this paper will, what am I trying to say? It'll buckle. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so there's that. All right, I'm going to let that rest. Then I'm going to get the purple. So here's my purple Supra color. And I'm just kind of scribbling it on there. Okay, let me show you. See, it's just real cross-hatchy. So watch, I'm just going to add some water, and look how it activates the pigment, and it makes it like a liquid paint. I love it. All right, so I wanted you to see how it would be if you did it like this, okay? The other way to do it would be to cut this out, then apply it onto your tag and paint it, okay? So we'll probably do the Wisemen that way. I'm going to keep going with this guy, though. I'm trying to do variations of all of it so that you can decide which one you want to do. So I'm using the Monte. I'm trying to protect his expression, because the expression to me is priceless. So I don't want to mess up his little expression of, yes, I know that's the king. I love that. He's like, we've been riding with these other kings all this time, but this is the real king. Okay, so can y'all kind of see that? It's just a light wash. That's good to know about Dollar Tree. I forget to go to Dollar Tree. So many people tell me all the good stuff they get at Dollar Tree, and I just forget about it. All right, so I'm going to use, I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use my paint. All right, so now I'm going to be ready to do his blanket. So I'm going to go back here forward. I'm kind of putting, if you've missed any of the other tutorials, red is a very domineering color, like as in it wants to be the star of the show. So if one of your other colors touches it, it will blend, it will try and take over. Okay, so the next color I'm going to use is the cobalt teal. Good, I want them to have personality. And so with watercolor, I'm going to hold it up and show you this in just a second. It travels with anything wet, y'all. So this red is damp. This is wet. If those two colors touch each other, they're going to come together and bleed over into the other. So I'm leaving a little bit of white space right there. And then I'm going to take my green, the Cascade green, and I'm going to come over here and use it for the blanket. And if it bleeds into my teal, I'm okay with that. I just don't want my red bleeding into my teal. Okay. See that? Very, very, very light amounts of color, paint, water. Oh my goodness. Eventually I'll say the right word. Do you ever do that when you're calling your children's names? Go through all of the names until you finally get to the one you're really talking to. Oh goodness. Okay. There's the little front camel. And I'm just going to use pencil, watercolor pencil, to do the these little circles. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of color down onto my little manger. Like that. Okay, y'all see that? So, I kind of feel like we're on a cooking show because I'm going to say, and with the magic of TV, here's our finished one that we're going to apply to the wood. I just wanted you to see the how-to. All right. So we had that burlap. Where is my burlap? Where? I may have to borrow some burlap from something else. Maybe this is it. Okay, let's see here. Okay, this is the, all right, so we have a little piece of this purple furry stuff, and then we've got a little piece of this to put at the base. If you have burlap left, you could use it too. It would look good. And here's the bling. So the camels, this is for the kings. This is for the camel. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and glue this down right in here. And I want to go ahead and get it in place. Let me get my scissors. How are we on time? We're good. Okay, so, and I think for the sake of time, I'm going to just use my glue gun. And I would like to tell y'all, give you an update on the glue gun saga. For those who were with me yesterday and saw me struggling with this glue gun, somebody had encouraged me to make sure that it was the Surebonder glue. So I emptied out the barrel of the glue that was in the barrel and found the Surebonder glue sticks, and y'all, that made a difference. It did not want another brand in its barrel. So, all right, so there I go. So here's my thing right there. Awesome, Tony. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to take this. Let me look at my display real quick. Oh my goodness, here they are. Here they are. All right, I'm going to put this a little bit on top of it. And so you got a decision to make here. I probably should cut this a little bit closer. So this, let me see, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say is that doing it this way is easier in some ways, but it's a little bit more tedious in other ways because you're going to need to cut close to his body, which is not a problem. Some people, it's easier to cut. Other people are going to be like, I'm not doing all of that. I'm just going to paint it. So do whatever works for you. Okay, so I'm going to get him glued down. And then we're going to paint the sky. Okay, y'all see that? I'm just pulling that out. And I've got a little bit of white right in there. I can use my X-Acto knife for that to get that out. or I could have just painted it. You know, it's up to you. I'm just going to go ahead and get it out. Okay, let me know if you have questions, y'all. If he's like my dentist, he will run late. I love that, Marla. Okay, so look at that. So this is how it would go down. But before I glue it, I want to go ahead and put the background color, the blue, okay? I wanted you to see that because if we glue it, you'll have to paint right up to the thing. So I found that putting the blue down first was actually easier, okay? So now I'm just taking some water on my brush, and then I'm using this indigo, and I'm just gonna put just a wash of blue. I'm gonna do a wider brush because that's gonna take me forever. Hold on. I'm gonna get a wider. And I also want to use the blue from the Wisemen because I really liked the way that turned out. So I want to use a combination, which is typical for me. I usually use several variations of a color. I started that a long time ago when I was designing artwork for wall art and things like that. If you do a variation, then it was more likely to match and coordinate with different people's art. I mean, decor. All right, so see how that's coming down? It's just a really, really, really light, just wash is what it's called, just a wash. So now I'm going to come over here with that darker blue. I'm going to come up here at the top, and I'm going to go around the edges. I wished I'd thought to turn the air conditioner down. It's hot in here. Okay, so come down. Once I get all these lights. Okay, this is a very good example of why I'm telling you don't get your adhesive on top, okay? So right here is where glue seeped out up under there, and it will resist the color. See that? That's that's why I'm telling you don't get your adhesive on the top of your on your painting surface, which is the top. But we'll cover that up somehow or another. We'll work it out. Okay, so now look at the difference. Having the background on there, his little head really stands out, doesn't it? If we had not painted the background first, it would have been kind of hard to get in there. So now I have a choice to make. If I want to trim this, see that white? If I want to trim it any closer, or if I just want to use a pen and just do a little bit of outlining in there like that. Oh, that's not on camera. And that's kind of how I'm going to do it. So I'm just lightly touching around the edge. So if you want to keep his facial expression, you want to use a very gentle touch because they're so little. It doesn't take much to overdo it. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to use, I don't think I have a good a good micron. So I'm going to use a really thin Pitt pen, and I'm just going to do some scratchy outlining around him, just very, very lightly, because I don't want to lose his expression, because I love his little eyes. And I like how, was it Debbie that said, he's saying, yes, I know he's here. This little guy is so excited. He says, I know he's here. I knew it before you. That's probably what they're saying in it. No, I knew it first. Okay. Does your imagination just give personality to critters? Okay, I cut that little white spot out with my X-Acto, And I'm going to cut. Please be careful if you're using an X-Acto knife. These blades are really sharp. Okay, I'm getting that out. So now what I'm going to do is, and I bet we're getting close on, so here's what I'll do, everybody. Let me glue this down, and then we'll pause, and we'll draw for a winner. All right, let's glue these boys down, and let's draw. And while they're drying, all right, let's see here, everybody. So if you're watching and you've not made a comment, go ahead and make a comment, because it pulls the names from all the people who have made a comment. So if you want to get in the drawing, go ahead and make a comment. Let us know we're here, that you're here. All right, see how this is going to overlap. It's going to go over to the other side. That's okay. Just let it go around if you want to, or you could cut it off. It doesn't matter. However you want to do it. Okay, so now I've got it on there. I'm going to let that dry. Hey, Vicki. I'm going to let that dry while we draw a name. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to darken this up just a little bit, y'all. Okay. Let's get over here, girls. Find my giveaway. Thank you, Tony, for being so patient with me. Okay, here we go. That's right, Deborah. They really do. Share my screen. All right, start collecting the names. It's already collected them. Let me go back and make sure. Start collecting. Now, y'all, if you won something already this week, and if it happens to pull your name, will you let me know so that I can redraw and let somebody else get a chance? Can y'all see that? Connie? Is that Connie? Let's see. Connie is our winner. So Connie, if Connie is K-N-O-P-P. So Connie, if you will let us know, send an email and let us know. The K is silent. Connie Knopp. Okay. Yay, Connie. Okay, so stop the screen share. Send us an email. Let us know. Oh my goodness, y'all, I'm losing my mind. I got to do another name. Hold on. Hold on. All right, Connie's our first winner for today. Now, let's tell it to... Okay, come on. All right, let's tell it to draw us another winner. Winner, chicken dinner. Who's it going to be? Tony, look at there, Tony. Awesome. All right, Miss Tony. Thank you for your help. All right. So I've got my screen share. Stopping that. All right. Thank y'all. Congratulations. Congratulations, Connie and Tony. All right. So if you have time to stay just a minute longer, let's see if we can finish up our camel. And then I think I need to finish the Wisemen on Friday. Okay. Can y'all do that? I did say it was Ornament Week. I really thought we could do them in 3 days, but it's okay. All right, so look there. So they're kind of light, but that was because I didn't want to get the paper super wet. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that purple pencil now, and I'm going to outline around his head. And that's going to help him look like he's coming forward. See what I just did? So I did that by just outlining it. And I can still, because this is glued down now, I'm just going to add a little bit of water to that, like that. And just that little bit helped bring it forward. All right. It's still copy paper, so you still need to be careful with it. But yeah. Okay, so now I want to do a little bit more to his cheeks. So I'm going to use that color that was with the Shepherd's kit, the oranges. I think they called it brownish orange. It's kind of a mauve color. I like using it for the cheeks. We used it for some of the Shepherds, and now I'm also going to use it just to add a little bit of shading to the guy in the back. Just give a little bit of shading. See how that just helps it come up alive. Then I'm going to add it to the baby's head a little bit. And I'm going to do his legs over here just a little bit, because we really want him to be in the background. And just by having a different color and having it a little bit darker, it helps it look further back. Okay, so with the baby, I'm going to get the brown pencil. I believe this one was with Joseph. So if you got Joseph kit, you should still have this brown, and you can use it here. And for some reason, I did not get that yellow ochre or green ochre, whatever pencil that was, but I've just been using my Neo color for this. So I added a little bit more straw to him. And then I think I want to take a little bit of the pink and maybe do a little bit of the shading with pink on his neck. Look at that, just a little bit. It's just fascinating whenever you layer your colors, how it just helps things come alive. Okay, so I just used pencil for those, and I don't think they really need anything else. All right, so now what we want to do is take not that marker, this marker. Which one is this? It says it's the S, so that would be the small. And I'm just going to go around now. And I like to do kind of a scribbly stroke. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Yes, I love giving away stuff. We'll do it again on Friday. I love to give gifts. All right, so let's decide about this. So I like putting some of the gold down here because you know that they were with the kings, and I also want to use, we got to do our star. I'm trying to wrap this up, y'all. I know some of you are on your lunch break. Where is my white crayon? Here it is. All right, so watch what happens with this background being dark. Look at that. Such a nice contrast with that white crayon. It's a Neo color. It's not a regular crayon, but okay. So that really pops. So now what I want to do is I want to add some white to the parts that probably would have the light coming down on it. And look how that gives it even more dimension. Put a little bit there. Maybe he would have some white on this side of his face. Maybe. And then for the baby, I want to have white light coming off of the baby like this. Like that. I love these Neo colors. All right, so now if I can get my glue to cooperate, if you had some yellow embroidery floss or something like that to make it look like straw, that would look good, I think. And I think we could probably color even. Yeah, we can do this. Look. So this could be straw also down on the ground. I just used the Neo color. And then I'm going to get another bottle of glue because I think my problem is that there's not much in here and it's thick. So you could also use that gel. For some reason, I just didn't reach for it. Whoops. All right. I don't want my star on there. This star is for the Wiseman. He goes on the other side. I mean, on the other ornament. But this looks good, doesn't it? Like that. Looks like they've been with the kings. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Okay, Tony, if you would send an email to Adrienne, I'm glad you asked that so that I could verbalize that. She's the one getting those giveaways together for me. So if you won a giveaway, please send an email and let Adrienne know, and then give her your email address. And that way, yeah, I'm so glad you asked that because I forgot to say it. Okay, so there's our camel. And on the back of the camel, we will put the crown. And that's where the this comes in. So you could decide how you want to do yours. I feel like this part's kind of self-explanatory, but I will tell you that if you got the gold, I mean, this is gold. So I want to show you this, and then I'm going to let y'all go. I mean, or you could go if you need to go. It sounds like I'm holding you hostage. I'm holding you hostage until we can complete our project. No, we're not going to do that. Okay, so here's what I'm doing. I'm just going to cut it out quickly because I just want to do this really fast. I don't know if there's anything that you can do super fast if you're cutting. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to. All right, so I'm just going to. Where is a brush that works? I'm just going to do it this way. And they may not match, but I think y'all will let me by with it. Okay. All right, so then these are the little background pieces. So this is how I did mine. I used the gold paint and painted the gold layer. And then it's beautiful too. It's a beautiful, this is not, oh my goodness, Daniel Smith. This is not Daniel Smith. I use primarily Daniel Smith. This is the HWC, I think it's pronounced Holcomb brand, but I just love this gold. And so you could do it like this so that the words show up if you want to do it that way. See? Or you could go ahead and just use this. So it's your choice. You could just cut it and put it in there like a collage piece, like this, or however you want to do it. So I wanted y'all to see that. And then what I did is I cut this out And I think I did it like this because I thought this would be cute to do it like in a crown shape. I think that's how I did it. Who knows? Okay, so here we go. The king is here. The king is here. He's here, guys. There he is, and he's coming back. Aren't we excited about that? Yes, yes, yes. He will be back. So, oh goodness. We could do it like this. There's so many ways you can do it. You've just got to decide how you want to do yours. This is how I did mine. This is the heart, is this paper cut out. When I painted it, I did several layers of the gold, and then I used the sprinkle beads on there. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all are so sweet. Okay, does anybody have any questions for me, though? Because I feel like some of you might want to go ahead and work on your things. Let me know before we get off. I think this would be pretty to collage these pieces on there. I might do that just with my... The harder I try to not say so much, the more I say it. Do y'all do that too? Like the harder you try to not do it, you do it. Almost said it again. See? Whoops. Oh, I see what's going on. I had a bubble under there. So whenever I wet it, the paper bubbled up. It should lay back down, but I like it too. I like it too. So let me tell y'all this as I'm doing this glue down. The dates are in the description, but I've got, so I've got another journaling week coming. So I said earlier how so many of my projects are inspired by old books. So the next journaling week is in September. I think the date is September 23rd. But I think it's going to be really special. I loved the butterfly journal, and I'm still working in my journal. And I think some of you are as well. This next one is Child of the King. And I think it's going to be just as special. And so I've been collecting books for it. I'm getting the stuff together for it. But I want to show y'all this. Let's see. Absolutely, Deborah. So where did I put them? I'll take a picture of them. Here's the Wisemen, guys. So y'all mark your calendars. Make sure you're on the email list. You can get on, I can send you a link if you type in Happy Mail, and that will allow me to message you. But this is our butterfly journal, and we made this from a composition book, and it's a cross between an art journal, a scrapbook, but this is what I'm calling we're record keepers. So we're using this to keep a record of the goodness and faithfulness of God in our life and to help us just journal and tell a story. So y'all, mark your calendar. I want y'all to join us. All right. So get on the email list, Happy Mail, and I'll be able to send it to you. If you're not in our Creative Hearts group yet, I want you to join us. I think you would love it. I really do. If you're interested and want to read more about it, you can type in the words Creative Hearts, or you can look up in the top comment and get it. I would just love for y'all to join us because we've got some good stuff that we're about to dive into. We have a monthly theme. So this is one of the things that we have been working on in August. So we painted the sunflowers. We have 2 hubs. We have a lettering hub and a painting hub. Some of our ladies only do the lettering and some only do the painting. Some do both. So I want you to see, this is something that we worked on for August, and our word is seek. Our word for September is come. It's come. So I'm excited about that. And I will go ahead and tell you a secret. There are crowns involved in September. So, all right, girls, I hope that y'all have a wonderful day. And y'all try and join me on Friday. You've completely filled your... that makes me happy. I love that, Deborah. Yeah. All right. Let me get off of here and let y'all go since I've been holding you creative hostage. And I hope y'all have a good afternoon. And let me know if you're watching on the replay, just let me know you watched on the replay. And if you want a prize, email and let Adrienne know. It's hello@PamCoxwellDesigns.com. And prayerfully consider joining us in the Creative Heart Studio. We want to have you. All right. See y'all Friday, everybody.